Like, don't at me.
Don't at me. Goddamn. Don't at me. Don't at me.
Don't at me, episode 46. Not quite. This week, doing things a little bit differently. We got hurricane on the way, looking to hit the coast, Houston and Louisiana. So if y'all are listening, be safe out there, prepare. Doing things a little bit differently this week, just got a lot going on. So actually went to the well and found some lost recordings. So I've got two of them for you all this week. We actually have a ton. We'll probably cycle through over time as things like this come up. But the first of which is a recording that Chance and I put together, I think, right before we were finishing up episode 1. So this one is pretty old, but it's pretty interesting when you listen back how accurate some of our predictions were. We talk about kind of how our group came together and, kind of became eternal, the Crispy Boyz. We also talk about the importance of creativity. We talk about different things that bring people together. And the last 10 minutes or so, it's pretty interesting. We're talking about time management and how we can't find enough time. Now, reminder, this was recorded back in October 2019, so this is well before quarantine where we could find enough time to reconstruct the Wall of China. Anyway, the usual plugs and whatnot. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram at therep.network. Of course, Facebook at Repertoire TPN. And make sure if you haven't yet that you check out our website. Bookmark it. Do us a solid. www.therep.network. You can go there to find all of our merchandise. Jock's got a lot of new heat with Pierre style clothing. We got a lot of merchandise. Chance has his Chance for Texas shirts. Go ahead, check out the website. Of course, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. With that, here is Lost Recording number 1.
Don't at me.
I'm out and about. I'm here with my crew. They're happy.
Having fun.
I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like shit. I wake up the next day, no hangover. I'm like, this is good. Okay. We went out and about. We went hiking and shit. Well, we just kind of drove around.
Nigga, we did not go hiking. We almost lost that car. That shit almost blew up. We were about to be in some shit then, bro.
Yeah.
That shit started sliding down the mountain.
It wasn't all that bad though.
No.
Like, y'all were all so worried about it. Like,
Nigga.
Jamal, everybody panicked, but I was just
Bro,
like, I think we're good.
Think about this shit. 6 dudes.
It's like I held it up by myself. That's how not a problem it was. Because I think I was the first one there, and then everybody else got there, and it was like, it didn't move much. It moved a little bit. I mean, it was enough to make us nervous, but like I feel like y'all thought that bitch was like this, and I feel like that shit was like this. You know what I mean? Like,
it was literally like that, but still, that shit started rolling,
enough.
Bro. Like,
yeah.
All right, so
it skidded back like a foot, so we're like, it's time to go. It
okay,
wasn't.
No. This is
it kind of
exactly
stopped
right.
on its own. Honestly,
it
stopped on its own.
This is exactly what happened. We were driving up the mountain, up the trail, and for I don't know who exactly it was, but somebody was like, "Yo, I gotta piss." I think it was me. I want to say it was me because I was like,
"Gary, look, I got the fucking pictures."
I was like, "Yo, I gotta piss," and like everybody was just like, "All right, yeah, let's piss." Like, so we got out, we stopped because I felt like it was pretty flat. Like now, even in retrospect, right now, like it was like it didn't seem like it was that steep or whatever. Like wherever the road and shit we were on. Like
look
we
at that
got
grade,
out,
bro. That's like 20 grade. That's not all that steep. Keep scrolling to the right, you'll see.
But I'm saying we thought the exact. I mean that's perspective though. Yeah, think about that shit. Like this is total perspective.
Let's agree that it was a threat, but I feel like y'all made it more like y'all were more worried, I guess, about it.
Nigga, we all get out, take a piss. Everybody, everyone gets out and take a piss.
We stopped. Why not?
We come in a circle like a huddle.
I got
like
pictures
huddle
of that.
That's all.
Backs though, backs, not fronts.
Fucking, we come in a huddle and everybody's just like, all right, so like, we want to keep going up or like, nah, we good. You know what I'm saying? Because like we were like there for a minute after we had pissed. Like we just came in like a huddle, and the next thing you know, it was just like the fucking car just started rolling down the fucking hill. But
hey,
you say it was a foot? It was like 3 or 4 feet,
how
bro.
wide?
And like everybody like jumped it because the doors were still open.
It was.
Everybody, it was like 3 or 4 feet. Like the doors were still open, and we all like just jumped in, and you like got behind it, and just like Jamal just jumped in and like just cranked it and put it in gear like real quick.
I put my turbo boost hands in because remember Iron Man? Nah. It was bad, but I don't think it would have gone all the way down. I think it would have started to kind of like come towards us,
but
and then it would have got stuck in the snow.
Would have had any slower like reaction, then that shit would have been way worse than it was.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true. Question: when you take a piss, where are your legs? What's your stance?
Under my
no, like are you wide, closed, shoulder length? I'm making a point.
Like I don't know.
Like,
it depends. It depends. Actually,
flat stand.
I'm never like closed, but like it depends. Like if I'm not gonna lie, when I'm like drunk, I'm like mad wide, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, so then maybe it's not just this guy. Because for me, it's usually about like shoulder length. But I'm not that wide of a frame either.
Do you really think about that shit that hard though?
No, but I'm OCD, so I notice everything though. I just have like that photographic memory.
I never think about it, but like when like sometimes if I'm like drunk and I'm like, oh shit, I'm pissing a lot. I know like because I noticed
it's just a drunk
thing. Like the color, you know, like how long
the lead is getting too long. The point I'm making is look at my man's stance. Gary is basically doing the splits in this shit. Look,
I see that shit.
That's a long-winded way of getting to that point, but that's what I was getting into.
But like he was probably feeling it. Like I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Gary was hot. Like, remember he just woke up that morning. He just threw up, and we were like, "What?" And he was just like, "Oh yeah, it's so weird. I just threw up." But he like threw up everywhere in the bathroom. Do you remember that?
I don't even remember that shit.
But then he cleaned it up like in 5 minutes, and it was like flawless. So it was like really weird. But this motherfucker just like we were about to leave, and he's like, "Hold on, y'all," and then he comes out. And he's like, "Oh, it's weird. I just threw up." You don't remember that? Jamal always talks about that. You're probably on your solo mission on the roof or something. Jamal and I reminisce on that all the time. How like that Airbnb was the perfect setup. Because you had the floor level was just that, like, it was like a decorative dining room. Then there was the kitchen. And then there was the, I'm going to make a point about the kitchen in a minute. Outside of the kitchen, there was that, like, living room. Remember? And, like, I feel like somehow we always all crashed on that little tiny-ass couch. And then we'd get up and...
like, stayed in, like, the bedrooms. They, like, just get up. Like,
the white people. Alan and Blake. They were the only ones.
The white people.
But the funny part is, and then the second floor were just those 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. And then the third floor was just the rooftop.
Yeah.
So, like, we would all go up to the roof. That was our session spot. That spawned sessions.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, that word has always been, obviously. But that was, like, that's when that word became, like, our, like, okay, session. So, the best part is we would do our sessions, but then sometimes we would one-off. Everybody kind of had their one-off solo missions. And that was the best part because it was like clinging glass. I can't say anything. I got 4 drinks over here.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I got water. I got some Topo Chico. I got some Jameson 12-year. And I got this unsweetened iced tea. I don't know. It's just, I had a bunch of drinks.
Dehydrated like a motherfucker. But
actually, nah. But the point I was gonna make
about the kitchen,
it's communal, but it's also it's something that you can get intimate with on a one-on-one level. This is something that's both social, but then I can be an introvert. I'll come home on like a Thursday, and then I create. I'll put the TV on. I'll put like YouTube or something like that. Yeah. And then I'm just like doing some shit with my hands. I'm either making these podcasts nobody listens to, you know what I mean? or making artwork or whatever. And I'm not saying like, yeah,
fapping and shit.
nah. The point though is like, it doesn't have to be creating anything for any purpose. Like, I'm not drawing something because I think I'm going to become Picasso. But it's like, humans have this innate need to be God in their own regard, right? And what does that mean? God is creation. So you're like, I say this shit even when I'm sober.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like, and then I think that's kind of the key to happiness. You just have to create, you know, because we all get in those moments where it's like, fuck, man, my life, I'm like doing the same shit every fucking day. Well, sit down, but I feel like it's important to create. But anyway, let me make you the case. If anybody wants to sit down and have a logical, fact-based debate with me about weed versus alcohol, I'm ready. I have all of that shit down pat. Like I said, all those different reasons, and you know, no hangover. You know, it's not destructive. I want to sit down, be happy, create art. You know, when you drink, you know, your inhibitions go away, and you're just like, I'm gonna be primal.
You know, that like goes back to when, you know, well, like in adolescence, you know, when I did that shit, like it's like a coming of age, like having it like then, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, like people really don't like a lot of. Well, I don't know, maybe it was like different, but I mean, you see like the movies and shit, you know, like people like, you know, smoke weed, do drugs, like, you know, from like Dazed and Confused and all that shit, you know, like, but. Shit, people just like when I realized like everybody, because it was the stoner kids were all the most like diverse group of people, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that goes back to what you're saying, like it's communal, you know, like because shit that we were like everybody was like different, like swear to God, everybody was like weirdly like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
think about most drugs, and I'll include alcohol as a drug. Which of those can you do by yourself where it isn't kind of like, oh, that's weird? That's
nothing but weed.
I feel like that's the only one. Like, you're not gonna do like
I feel like
coke and sit down by yourself. I've never done it, and I never will.
You wouldn't sit down. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you be like fucked up. Like that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you be fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like yeah, that's like just weird type shit. Like you wouldn't want to do that shit like by yourself at all. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a party. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? So, but weed, that's like the only thing, because like taking like bars or, you know, like Xanax and like fucking, you know, like Adderall. Well, you know, like if you're doing something like Adderall, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what it does. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like.
Yeah, that I feel like is
like,
more introverted.
But that's like
actually.
prescription drugs, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like Adderall is more like, I've never done that either. But I feel like that's something that's more like not antisocial, but like you do your own thing with that usually, right? Like you take it to achieve a task and focus and kind of be in your own. But that's the beauty in weed, is that it's both. You know, it's kind of a chameleon. But hold on, sit down. Taking this commercial break for Dude Huncho, the Doodle, the Jeep of dogs. Sit down. Look at this motherfucker's trying to shake.
I think it is shake.
He probably has to take a piss or something.
Do you think you like dedicate too much time to like certain things?
I'm OCD. I literally created a life schedule to budget my time out. I'll show you. I basically had to sit down.
I don't see that shit.
You don't. I showed Jamal. I showed Jamal. He's like.
That's gonna stress me out, bro.
I showed Jamal.
My hair turned white or some shit, bro. Like, what the fuck?
I showed Jamal. He's like, you know, people handle it differently.
Yeah.
He wouldn't feel it either. But it's how my brain works. But I'm so regimented in the things that I do.
Stop that shit. Like you said it earlier.
But I do though.
Like,
I do to a certain extent.
Cares. Like, you know, I should just go on about my life. That's what you said earlier.
Well, but here's the thing,
like,
though. It's not. It's me going to work, going to the gym, cooking at home, all that kind
But
of
that
stuff.
shit people do every day.
Right,
You
but I
gotta
do it
just-
all every day. Usually people do one or the other. I do like 3 different things
Nah.
each day.
Yeah.
It's just I don't have. I'll
yeah,
explain my
schedule.
thing. I wake up at 6:15
Just got
to make my breakfast and go to work.
I pretty much know.
I mean, I leave here at 7, but I
Yeah.
mean, it takes me an hour to get in. I get off 5, go to the gym. I'm out of there by 6:30.
Do you hit like traffic or anything? You say
Yeah,
it takes an hour?
An hour, just about. I mean,
And
40.
you leave at 7?
So I get there at 8.
It's
It's-
too fucking crowded around
It's
here,
anywhere
man.
from 40 to an hour, but
That's fucking
it's usually
wild.
45 to 50, but sometimes it can be an hour.
Bro, it should take 5 minutes to get there. Like,
That's why it drives me crazy.
it's just like
But
5 minutes.
I leave, and the reason I go to the gym is it's twofold.
All right, wait, hold on. That's one thing we gotta talk about. Like,
Save that for the real. This is for the lost tapes.
Look,
so
this is
save
one thing.
it.
That's the no. This is the one thing we gotta talk about. Fucking this traffic, using traffic. Like it should
It's
not.
criminal. This
take-
is a conspiracy.
It
pod.
should not take that motherfucking like
Shouldn't
much
take that
time
long.
to get anywhere. And like I don't understand like people just like stopping like
I
over
know.
like just go like for
Straight.
real
Just go straight.
go
Just go straight.
like you're
You know what they
good.
should do is they should create like 5 HOV lanes to where like you have to stick in one lane.
Yo think about this shit.
But the exits would be
Listen.
tricky.
I used to dream about like fucking like okay no actually I got it from this shit and it made me like think about it like it wasn't a dream it was just like it was like a daydream but it was like a line that Chameleonaire said he was like have a like freeway end up at my yard or some shit like that. I was like whoa, what if that shit was like for everybody, you know what I'm saying, like everybody just had their own like little freeway like that took them to where they were going. You know, like
That would look
exactly.
like a mess. That's like some Lego shit a kid would build.
Yo, that shit would be wild. You ain't think about that shit, man.
But hey, so listen to my schedule. Let me stress you out. So I leave
I'm
work
already stressed.
at 5:15, whatever. I get to the gym. I'm out of there about 6:30.
Uh-huh.
I drive home. I get here about 7:10, 7:50. Like 7 o'clock, actually. Like, the reason I go to the gym is because it eats some of the traffic time to where it takes me about 40 minutes to get home.
Right.
But sometimes traffic sucks. And sometimes I'm like, fuck it, I'll take 10 minutes on both sides or 10 minutes on either side going 6:10 instead of Beltway. Because that's about the difference. It adds about 10 minutes. In the summer, they're about the same. So I always go 6:10. But the construction there has created a lot of problems. Anyway, get home. I make dinner. We eat. I put the dishes up real quick. It's about 8:30 at this point. I shower. It's 9 o'clock. And then I'm like, what do I do with the last, 2 hours? And I sit down. That's usually all the free time I have. So I had to sit down to cut some shit out, like you said, to give myself more free time. So
Shit, I don't know. I don't know.
all right, you want to go take a break? He looks like he's got a shit. Or something.
like he.
And
like,
you're holding
tripping.
that lighter like you need a cigarette break. So this will conclude the Lost Tapes episode 1.
Yeah, that was a good start.
That was a good one. This is the first one that we've recorded.
And like,
And I don't know when this one will publish. This one might just sit on the computer for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
We don't have it right now, but we need to sit down and have a 2 to 3 year plan, our goals of when we're gonna reach each goal. But this is the first one. Maybe it comes out in 2 to 3 years, right, Huncho? Maybe you'll have a brother by that point. But yeah.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.